Now to cover the roll animations, first we want to put our 4 unique raw animations on the animations. Create new animation objects. Oops, not that. Animation. Be front roll. Back roll. Left roll. And right roll. Put your respective animation IDs in these. And roll. And now reference these animation objects in your workspace. Front roll animation, back roll animation, left roll animation, and right roll animation. Right roll, left roll, back roll, and front roll. Now we have these animations that are loaded into a humanoid. Now we have to detect what direction the player is walking. Luckily, we've already done this with our active keys. We know which key, we know exactly what key the player is pressing at all times. And the way we're going to make our raw animations is that we're going to be tuning our character's velocity. First, let's detect when the player presses Q, because Q is going to be the button for their rolling. So if input.keycode equals enum.keycode.q, we're also going to make a, actually before we do this, we're going to make a way to track when the player is rolling. I mean, sorry, when they've landed. Local is landed equals false, be false initially. The landing starts is landed equals true. The landing ends is landed equals false. We're also going to make a roll cooldown. Roll cooldown, this will start out as false. And for our user inputs, so if input.keycode is equals to enum.keycode.q, which is the key I'm going to be using for my rolling, and not roll cooldown and not is landed, which means they won't be able to roll while they're on their landing's done, then we can initiate now we can initiate their roll animation. I'm going to add Q to our list of active keys. Q is equal to false. Add a comma here. That should be a comma. Yep. Now here, active keys.q, set this to true, and we'll check which direction the player is facing. If active keys.w, if they're walking forward, then we'll make the roll forward. So if we're going to make this roll forward, we're going to first play the front roll animation. Play. We'll create a new tween info here. Local tween info, because we're going to use a different tween info from the one we declared before. This one, we're going to create a unique one because we want this to be a linear tween. So local equals tween info.new, make this 0.1 enum.easingstyle.linear enum.easing direction. So be whatever. This doesn't really matter because this is linear. Now we want to get the root part of our character as well. Human root part. Local root part equals character, wait for child, humanoid root part. Make sure you spell this correctly, humanoid root part. And now go back to our code here. I'm going to create tween, local tween equals tween service create. We'll pass in our instance, which is our root part, tween info. Then for our properties panel, we're gonna tween our humanoid root part's velocity. There, if I can spell velocity, and this will be equal to root part dot cframe dot look vector, because we want the direction we're looking at, times this by 100, so we get pushed forwards depending on the direction we're looking. Do tween play. This should make us roll forwards. As you can see, we roll forward. Now all we have to do is check for the other keys like A, S, or D and play the corresponding back, left, or right roll animation. I'm just going to quickly do that. Since we're rolling backwards, I'm going to use a negative value, so our character goes backwards rather than forwards. This will be back roll animation. Else if active key is dot A, then left roll animation. If you want the character to go left, we can do it is we can get the right vector, and we can multiply this by negative 100 because we want to go left from right. So it will create a position vector on our left and it will tween us like that. So left roll animation. Copy this, except for D. We'll make this a positive number because we want to roll right roll animation. Now let's create a small cooldown. Our roll cooldown will be true. Task.wait 0.8 seconds. Then roll cooldown will be false. So this way we can't spam our roll. So if we look at this is what our roll will look like now. Right now this is looking a little bit boring because we don't have any trail effects or sound effects. So if you want to create a sound effect, what we can do is you can create a sound here. So you weren't supposed to see that previous part. Oops, not a script. Create a sound here, and we'll call this roll sound. You can put a respective sound ID in here, which you can find from the toolbox. I'm going to use this ID. I'm going to display it right here on the screen. It sounds like this. Then this one is actually quite simple. All you have to do is put roll sound, sound event via server, and we can put in the name of a sound here in strings. And this will play the sound. That's all rolling. Also, one small adjustment we're going to make is that if any of these conditions aren't true, we're going to do a back roll default if the player isn't holding any keys. So back roll will be this one. So if I'm not holding down anything, press Q and roll backwards. Just like that. Oops, wait, maybe that's wrong. Okay, so one small adjustment we need of our code is the handling of our input keys, specifically this part. What I'm going to do is remove this, just correct the indentation here, and we're going to do if shift lock enabled, then check for these values specifically. So And now that should fix the roll for our non-shift lock rolling. So if I press Q, and now if I hold W, I can roll in that direction. I'm going to make a small adjustment. So you see when our character isn't shift locking. Do that. We want to make it so when they're not shift locking, they're going to roll in the direction they're facing, rather than just forwards or backwards. It works with the shift locking because our direction facing is always true. We can fix this here. So yeah, we can fix this by going over here. If shift lock enabled, then it will do all of this. Else, if shift lock is not enabled, then what we're going to do is between the character to roll forward. So we can do this by taking this part of our code and check if the active key is W or active key is A or active key is S, active key is D. Then we'll do all of this. And now if we're not shift lock, we'll roll in the direction we're facing. Now when we're shift lock, we'll roll relative to the direction of our camera. Not even my advanced movement system had that, so that's my mistake. Now for our trail visual effects, if you go to the link in the description, I have a folder for the trail effects, which is a visual effect I created. Go to Toolbox, it should appear under your models here. When you open this, it's going to be a model. You want to put this under our starter character. Starter character here. You want to ungroup this. And you're going to get these. You want to group these as a folder now. Call this Trails VFX. And very important step. You want to grab these world constraints, and the first one should be parented to your character's head. This one should be the left upper arm or right upper arm. They're both the same visual effect. Left upper arm, then right upper arm. And now if we play the game, we can enable these visual effects right here. The trail here. Do enabled as true. And these are parented very, very strangely to our body. Trails visual effects. Our attachments are over there. Make sure you grab these two attachments. This one's for the head, so put them by the head of our character. Like that. Push this up slightly. Bring it more inwards. And do that for the rest of them. It's correctly inside the character. Push this in slightly. There we are. Now we can put this guy back under starter player. Starter player right here. And now if we were to go inside and try and manually activate these trails, it should appear under character, yeah, like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create another remote event. Call this Trail VFX event. And now we're going to reference this in our server script. Local Trail VFX event. Trails VFX event. On server event connect function player. Now what we're going to do is activate these. Well, first let's go back to the client script. Reference the same thing. Trail VFX event. Put this guy next to our events up here. And whenever we roll, like here, we will call this event Trail VFX event via server. I'm going to pass in a few parameters. The duration and yeah, actually it's just going to be the duration. We'll set it to 0.5 for now. I'm going to get this value, duration, and what we're going to do is get the character player dot character dot whatever we named the folder first, Trails VFX dot actually wait, we can just loop through these. Yeah, so for I v in effects do v dot trail dot enabled equals true. So enable all of them. You can do task dot wait, the duration that I'll specify by the client. You can loop again and re-enable these. We disable them, sorry. So now if we fire this, 0.5 seconds might be too long. Oops. Oh, should you get children? Because we're looping through all the items in the folder. And this will be flexible because if you decide to add more trails, it will still show those effects. Now, if we roll, we have this little trail effect, which looks pretty cool. Yeah, that's that. Oh, one thing I forgot to do a very, very long time ago was create a FOV tween. This is what I have for my advanced movement system. So you can do create a function for this, local function FOV tween. We're going to use a few parameters here. Be passing the FOV and the tween time. Do is create create local tween goal, which will be our field, should be dictionary, field of view. This is equal to our FOV, and local tween will be equal to tween service create, and our instance will be game.workspace.current camera, tween info, which we declared all the way up here, and our tween goal right here. Once that's declared, we can just tween play. That's how the function will work. Now what we can do is we can call this function whenever we sprint. Be it double tap, or we could do it on the begin sprinting script. FOV will be I don't know, let's try 80. The tween time will be 0.2. Stop sprinting. I can't remember what the default FOV was. I think it was, let me check. View is 70. So yeah. When you stop sprinting, we'll set this back to 70. This will be over here, and now this should twin out FOV. Like that. Could make this a little bit smoother if I did. It's cubic in out. No, so that's fine. But oh yeah, obviously you can play around with your value. You can make this 0.4. 0.4 should be twice as long. 0.4. If you sprint here. There we are. Now that gives more of a sprinting feel to it. Oh yeah, one more thing we're going to do for our roll is stop our sprint. So the way we stop our sprint is first we'll detect when we roll, which would be over here. And then, so yeah, if you want to stop the player from sprinting, you can check if is sprinting, then sprint animation stop. You can also decrease the humanoid.walk speed back to 16. Then we can wait, task stop, wait 0.6 seconds, and we'll do 0.6. There we are. Else, do a back roll. Back roll animation. This would be a negative value. And now, if they're not moving, or not shift lock, dodge backwards. And that's that.